Art Talks has been a wonderful experience. Lauren Small and myself made a 1 year dedication to this project. And so next month will be the very last Art Talk. So we hope you have been enjoying them. And we hope that you will tune in for our last Art Talk. And yeah, there you have it. And then starting in August, we do have a new project that will be launching forward, but I don't know that it will be on Twitch. So don't get your hopes up. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing on Twitch. I'm not sure. I'm kind of leaning away from doing some live stuff for a while. So the May Art Talk may be the end of my twitching as I go on hiatus. So here we are at the top of the hour. And today it's going to be my pleasure to share Lauren Small with you, my co-host, and to really take a look at Lauren. Lauren has a really creative background that I want to share with you. I mean, she has always been creative at heart, and she began her foray into crafts from a very young age. She began knitting, crocheting, sewing. In high school, she began making her own clothing. Lauren and I have a lot of similarities, which I think is why we have such a kinship bond, too. She's dabbled in crotch stitch and crewel work. Did I say crotch? I meant cross. Oh my goodness, sorry. Cross stitch and crewel work, embroidery, and quilting. In fact, there has no type of creative endeavor out of reach for our Lauren, and she enjoys all types of creativity pursuits. And is always in the middle of some kind of a project. And so even though this project, Art Talk, is coming to an end, she's not getting away. We're going to be starting up a new project, a new art project together. Of course, she'll continue her solo. As an adult, Lauren became interested in beadwork, in jewelry beadwork, and continues beading to this day. And she is especially fond of beaded embroidery and loom work. Photography is another creative activity that Lauren enjoys. And she likes getting up early and going out to catch the first rays of sunlight. Her favorite subjects include anything found in nature. A number of years ago, Lauren met an artist that got her involved in abstract painting. The beautiful flowing of watercolors on the page fascinated her and called to her artistic spirit. And currently, Lauren is experimenting with acrylics and art journaling, but her heart remains in watercolor painting. So without further ado, let us invite Lauren into the studio. Come on in, Lauren. Woohoo!
Hello, everyone.
How are you today, Lauren?
I'm very well, thanks. Yeah.
Now we get to start our normal art talk.
Yes.
Yeah. So how's the spring for you?
We're having a very snowy day today. It's not a very pleasant day at all.
Snow again?
Yes, snow again. So hopefully it'll be gone by the next week sometime.
Yeah, we're back into we have another rainstorm coming here in sunny Southern California where it never rains. Well, that is a proven fallacy. Lauren, I'm so happy you're here because there's so many wonderful aspects to you that the viewers haven't really gotten to know because you've been a co-host, and I'm just so happy to share about your creative artistry, because no matter what form of artistry or creativity we're doing, it's all the same. It's artistic talent. you know.
Right.
And I want to start off by showing right off the bat some of your earlier endeavors that you began to work with. But before I do, how old were you, do you think you were when you first started to delve into creativity to a
I
medium?
can remember way back when I must have been maybe 4 years old, and my mom, kudos to my mom, taught me how to knit. And I knit little blankets for my Barbie dolls.
Oh,
My earliest memory.
isn't that fun?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that.
Well,
And I still knit today. Not as much, but I still knit. All of the different crafts that I do and the art that I do. Um, I accumulated it as I grew older, and I didn't really let any of them go. I come back to them every now and then and say, "Oh, I'd like to do a needlework, or I'd like to do it, make a sweater, or something like that." And so it just keeps returning.
wow. That's it's in your blood, right? It's whatever we do,
Absolutely.
it's in our blood.
Yeah.
Speaking of Barbie, did you see the Barbie movie?
I didn't see it. I saw some of
Oh,
the trailer and stuff like that. It looked really fun.
you have to watch it. You do have to,
Look for it.
watch it because since you were into Barbies, I was very into Barbies too. It brings back a part of our life that probably was a big part as a child, as a young girl. So
Yeah.
yeah, you'll like that. Okay, let me share this piece of art with you. I have to tell you, my desktop is laden with your art. It's so all right. Here is one of your cross stitches.
Mm.
Look at how beautiful this is.
Yeah, I remember doing that. I had so much fun with all the pretty colors and the design and everything. And
Mm.
yeah, yeah, I really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, it's really easy on the eyes, isn't it? This is
Mm.
when you
Yeah,
look at
it
it.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really
all
is.
those pastels, they're pastels and
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful. How large is this? I'm just curious.
It's about maybe 12 by 13 or 14.
Wow. So it's big.
Yeah.
So 2003 is when you created this. I see '03.
Yeah, well, that would be it then.
Oh,
Yeah. I
beautiful.
did in the sort yeah, so that's one of my recent ones. Well, recent, it's 10 years old now. But
Well, I
yeah,
think it's 20 years old now.
20, yes, 20. Yes, 20 years old. You're right.
Right? I mean, and when you
Time
think about it,
flies.
it's like, oh my gosh, how quickly time flies.
Yeah.
So, I always think of when we do cross stitching, I always think of, because it's women's work, even though it isn't. I mean, men can do it just as easily as women.
Mhm.
But when I think of cross stitching, I always go back into a past timeline where I'm in a castle and I'm doing my needlework. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering, did you ever used to trance when you did needlework?
No, I just get really into the flow, and I'm so focused on what I'm working on. The time it just goes, all of a sudden 2 hours have gone by and I'm saying, oh, I've got to get my housework done or whatever's on my to-do list. And so I know I just go into flow, and
So you force yourself to stop?
I have to force myself to stop. Yes. Yeah, I get really into whatever it is that I'm working on. It's the time just spins right out of control.
Oh, time flies. Now, you said that you got into beaded work and you did provide me with some beaded work. And
Uh-huh.
I know this isn't exactly beaded work, but look at this gorgeous. I mean, it is beaded work, but this is jewelry.
Yes, it's I took a silver smithing class, and I learned how to solder the rings together, and then I decided that I wanted to put some nice turquoise and coral beads on it and make it a necklace. So that's how that came about.
This is beautiful. This is a beautiful piece, Lauren. And I mean, it's consumer quality. Do you know what I mean? You could sell
Yeah.
this in a shop. Do you sell any of your work in a shop?
I do sometimes, yes, but mostly I make it for myself or for friends or family and that kind of thing.
Let me also share this piece with you since we're looking at beads. And then I'm gonna pull up also one of your actual beads. This is bracelets,
Oh,
bracelets.
yeah. Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
these, I mean, that this is some intricate work.
It really is. It takes quite a long time to do and they're kind of woven together and um yeah, it's something that takes a bit of time to do, but I really enjoy it and then I come up with this beautiful, lovely bracelets to wear.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just
Some of them are very precious and I don't want to get rid of them, so I keep it for myself.
I believe you. All right, now I just pulled another one to my desktop because I realized I also want to show your what would be considered traditional beading, right?
Oh, yes.
So let me bring up.
Forget what I gave you now.
Oh, you gave me some beautiful stuff to share. I just have to find it here. Where did I put that? Oh, this one right here. This is the one I want to share. Give me just 1 second. It's not showing to share. So let me see. Let me find out why it's not showing. Maybe I have to start from the beginning.
Mhm.
Oh, I know what it is. I have to open it so that it's big. All right, here we go. Check out this gorgeous piece of
Oh, yes.
beading. Wow, wow, wow.
That's done on a loom.
Oh, this is loom beading.
They're
Okay.
woven. They're woven, yes.
Wow.
And the tricky part is putting where you see the individual strands, you have to thread that onto the string that's on actually on the loom.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and do the next after you do you do like the bottom where the pottery is, and then you slide down all those beads to the next piece, and then I did the little square, and then you fold some more down to the
Wow.
piece. So it's that was something that I made when I got a fair amount of experience working on a loom. But
Well,
I love these.
it's gorgeous. I mean, it's just gorgeous. I'm gonna open up one other necklace that's all beaded. Why didn't I see these before? Now I'm getting all carried away in your jewelry. All right, let's share this one. Let's take a look at this one. This is maybe I'm gonna guess it right. Maybe this is loom beading as well.
No, actually that one's done by hand, just by,
Wow.
yeah. So that's one bead at a time goes on and you make your pattern and then I made the disc at the donut at the bottom separately and then joined it on.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That was really fun to do.
I love you can see your artistic talent coming out in not only the composition of the design, but also your choice of colors,
Oh, yes, thank
you
you.
know? Yeah, I mean, I think in crafts, and you can correct me if I am wrong, and I'd like to hear your input, but I think in crafts, almost anyone can do a craft. But
Mhm.
to create an artistic piece, you need to have a different perspective or
Mhm.
perception of what you're creating. So
Yeah.
do you feel that's true?
Yes, I agree with that. And I think, like with painting, sometimes you have to do a lot of ugly stuff before you get something that's really pretty.
You have to
And
be
that's
willing to
the
make
hard
the
part.
mistakes. Yeah, well, I'm sorry, what? I cut you off.
I was going to say that's the hard part because you've got to keep going and be diligent and trust in the process that you're going to eventually something really nice and lovely will come out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you choose unique color combinations. Like I'm looking at the quilt that's on your wall
Yeah.
behind you, and
Yes.
that has such a feeling to it. Do you
Mhm.
want to share about that? piece
Well,
with us?
I don't remember exactly when I made this quilt, but it's probably 25 years at least now that since I've made that. And it's all with batik fabric, if you know anything about batiks. They're really lovely to work with, and the color range is incredible, and all of the rich patterns and color blends in it is what really attracts me to batiks.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So as a artist, before we get into your paintings, as an artist, as a crafter, okay, let's, I guess, bring it to that for a moment. Do you, but segueing into your painting, do you feel that you approach your crafting just as you do your painting?
I think basically I do, but because all the crafts that I've done, I have a lot of experience with it, and so I kind of go to it and I can start fresh and just go with the flow, so to speak. Uh,
Mhm.
but with painting, because I'm more of a newcomer to that, and I'm still experimenting with different styles, it's more almost tentative sometimes, like you get in there and you say, well, what if I do this? Will I mess it up? It's that's always kind of on my mind. So yeah, so it's a little bit different. I mean, I'm sure 10 or 15 years from now, when I'm still painting, I'll have a different feel and I'll say, oh yes, I know exactly what I want to do and how I can go about doing it.
So what year was it where you turned to painting?
Oh, it must have been around, I would want to say maybe before 2010, but
Mhm.
around that time, I think, is when I started. And so, although I've been doing it for quite a while, I haven't been always been doing it. So I
Mhm.
haven't. So I still feel that I'm still a beginner with some of the things, and because I keep trying new things, so I'm always a beginner at a new thing, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't, it's 2010, that's, and it's 2024, that's
You
14
know,
years that you've been
14 years.
painting.
Oh
Even
my
if you, yeah, that's a while. That's a little bit of a stretch. I'd say
God.
you're more than a beginner,
Yeah, well, maybe in the whatever the next thing is, a novice, I'll say.
a novice. Listen to you. How about artist?
Artist, yeah. Okay. All right, artist. I made one of the things that I took with you, one of the programs that you taught, it was something to do with the artist's way and following that book a little bit and by Julia Cameron. And one of the activities that you had us do was to take an old shirt and paint on the back, I am an artist, and to develop that self-confidence. So I should be wearing that more often.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes I think artists are so self-conscious and
yeah.
actually introverts about their art
Mhm.
artistry.
Yeah, I
And
would say
why do you
that.
think that is?
I don't know. I mean, some of it's insecurity I mean, it's really something to have to put yourself out there and something that you feel very precious about and that you worked so hard doing to put it out there for someone to critique. And a lot of the people who are critiquing are not artists or even trained artists. They're just people who go with their gut reaction and say, well, I like that or I don't like that. And it's hard to hear sometimes when, they don't like that. And it's something that you just thought was the most wonderful thing that you ever made.
They don't see the nuances of the creation. Yeah. Yeah.
Often, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what would you tell an aspiring new artist?
Oh, just follow your heart and do what you love and keep doing what you love because eventually you're going to find success and you'll be making some beautiful art, whatever type of art that you're doing, and just keep at it and don't give up. I think that's the key.
Don't give up.
Yeah,
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 that's so important.
yeah.
I'm going to bring up you said that you began with landscapes, or
Mm,
not landscapes, I'm sorry, with abstract.
Abstract, yes.
I'm going to bring up this one,
Oh, yes.
because it is very dramatic. Very,
It is, isn't it?
yes, it is. So
Yeah.
tell us about this painting.
Well, when I first started doing watercolor, it was with this lady who taught abstract art. And I remembered my first pieces, my watercolor. We used ink, Chinese ink, and the Chinese brushes. And all of my work was so pale and boring. And this is about the time when um, I just I think she sort of gave me a bit of a push and said, use your colors and be bold. And so I did, and this is what came out. So I was really excited to see this.
Yes, it's just gorgeous. Do you have a name for it?
It's on the back, but I don't remember what the name is now. No.
Okay. And do you know what this was an impression of? What is it?
Yeah, what is it? I mean, I was thinking about water
Hmm.
and being on the beach and with the waves crashing. And so I think the blue streak is the water, obviously, and then the green on the right hand side or the left hand side of the painting is it's sort of like the foam and the wave crashing in, and that's what I think of when I look at it.
Yeah, I feel the same. I instantly went, oh, this is waves. She's at the beach. I'm attracted to anything that remotely resembles ocean, right? I'm gonna bring it up one more time and let you viewers take a look at it and tell me what you think.
Okay.
Tell Lauren what you think if you want. Does it look like the you, or does it look like something else to you? Because every abstract, what the artist paints may not necessarily be what a viewer.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
the beauty, I think, of abstracts.
that's what I love about it too. Yes. They each tell their own story to the viewer. The viewer
Yes.
tells its own story with the piece of art. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think I'm going to share another piece that I feel is, I think, probably more current. I don't know. Oh, wait, I'm going to share this one first. This one is very abstracty too. They all are, but this one
Yeah.
is beautiful, just gorgeous.
That one we were playing around with adding rice paper to our patterns, to our art. And so we did the background first, and then you choose where you want to put your mulberry paper. And I have two pieces on there. One is the one that's horizontal, and the other one is that blue sort of iridescent shape where you're pointing. That's another piece that you sort of crumble up and put on. And so that
Is,
was really fun to experiment with.
is this the piece right here?
Oh, maybe that's another piece. It looks like another piece, doesn't it? So I must have three pieces on there because the two beigey brown ones are
Yes,
form like a T kind,
yes, yeah.
and then there's the blue one, the iridescent blue one that's on the left, on the right-hand side of the painting.
So as the viewer of this piece of art, I see a waterfall.
Okay.
And what was your meaning?
I think I was just so focused on adding these other ephemera to the piece of work that I don't necessarily had something in line, but to me, when I hold it the other way, when I put it down horizontally, it reminds me of rocks, sort of smooth rocks
Oh yeah,
on a
I'm
shore or something like that. I had this theme of water, I guess, when I was doing some of these ones. They were all done around the same timeline.
so I'm assuming I am showing it in an incorrect direction. Let me see, am I able to, hold on.
There we go.
Now this has your,
That's upside down now.
This is upside down. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can get it the way you.
That's it.
Hold on. I'm getting there.
All right.
But your name's up here.
Okay. Oh, all right. Then you're right. It would be upside down. There we go.
But still, it is as if you're coming down to the water's edge on
Yeah.
rocks.
Yeah. And I mean, even the vertical piece could be like a boardwalk that's going out into the water or something like that. And that's not necessarily what I remember thinking about at the time, but I know I like the flowing colors of the blues and greens like in the other one, and then this one with the blues and purples, and then the sandy part with the browns. And
Now, did you all consider this a mixed media piece because of bringing in the rice paper and mulberry paper?
I do, yes, I would consider it mixed media.
I do too. Yeah, because of that factor. Yeah, yeah. Beautiful. So, let me ask you a question. Sorry, I've got to get rid of this. I got to pull off this piece, and it's asking me, my desktop is asking me to do things to it. Um, when you paint, I know you say you take a lot of classes, you experiment, you're always broadening your skill, because that's taking, when we take classes as artists, it's because someone has a skill, a technique that we
Right,
want to learn. It's like, oh, I'm really attracted to that, and I'd
right,
like to learn that to see, one, if it is compatible, and two, how I might weave it into my own artistic expression.
right.
So when you're going after different techniques and different skills, and you're experimenting and exploring with them, um, how do you handle the ones that you realize you don't like? I mean, are you okay? Because do you come across skills that you decide, yeah, this isn't for me?
Yeah, for sure. There's always something that you say, and usually it's because you're not very successful with it. Because if you're successful, then you feel good about it and you want to do more. At least I do. And so, but that doesn't happen so often. And I find that a lot of times when I'm taking like art painting lessons, at least, um, like I started with the first one, she was teaching, who was a Japanese lady, and she was teaching how to paint more Asian stylized things like bamboo and the leaves and all of using the paintbrush a certain way and everything. And I really liked what she did, and I liked her way of teaching. And so I continued with her, and she's the one that taught me about all the abstract art. And some of the things I did, I really didn't like very much at all. And so, but eventually, when I got a little bit of experience and a little bit of confidence, I was able to put my own spin on it. And that's when I started really making some things that I enjoyed doing and I liked the result.
Okay, so you mentioned something when the teacher was doing things that you didn't like, right? Because
Mhm.
that's her or his technique, that style, maybe
Yes,
a better word to say. Uh,
yes.
what is what is something that allowed you to get through that class then? What allowed you to get through your own class? Why am I just me?
Well, I'm kind of a person that I stick with something, even if it's hard or difficult or it's not or challenging or whatever. And so I will give anything a try and finish the project and then say, that's not for me, or I'd like to do more of that. I kind of decide after the fact, after the project is done.
Okay, that's a good way.
Yeah.
So, what advice do you have to give to artists about taking classes?
I think just go out there and find different people who are doing interesting things and learn from them, and to give the whatever the type of art that they're doing, whatever the format is, just give it a try and follow it through to its conclusion, and
Mhm.
then make a decision about whether you want to incorporate that into your own art or not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
things come to you after, like after the fact, you said, oh, this is how it goes. And you don't get that eureka moment if you give up too early.
that's an important piece of advice, giving out too early in
Yeah.
artistic exploration. So, in keeping that in line, every artist is striving to develop their style.
Hmm.
In your opinion, what is artist style?
Oh, it's putting your heart on the paper. I think that's the style. And whatever that means, everybody will be different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think sometimes when you're first starting a new technique, it's not your heart that's on the table necessarily. It's you're learning the technique, you're learning the how to do something. And so your heart isn't really on the page yet. But that's why I think you have to keep doing it and keep trying, and not to give up too early, because eventually you'll be able to make that into your own style and your own way of doing things. And that's the fun part.
Yes, that's
That's
the fun part. So when you see somebody, because I think we're artists are led to believe that style is an identification. You look at a painting, you go, "Oh, that's a Georgia O'Keeffe,"
Yes,
right? Or, "Oh, that's a Degas," or, "Oh, that's a Frida Kahlo," right? Um,
right.
or Andy Warhol. They have a specific style. Now,
Yes.
to me, it means they know how to paint one thing really good, you know?
Yeah.
And that becomes their style. Like even, Starry Night, right?
Yeah.
We look at that and we go, oh, we get a sense for, I know who that famous master artist is,
Right.
because
Right.
of technique, not necessarily style. Or is technique the same thing as style?
I think it's part of it.
Mhm.
I think you sort of bend and shape a technique to be part of the way you do things. And that's where it merges into your art and your artistic style.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It's so interesting, right? It's so interesting as an artist, to think about what is your style. Do you have a style?
I don't know if I have a style yet or not. I because I like to dabble so much in different things, but I think there's some things that I really like. Like I loved adding metallic elements to my pictures, my paintings. I like doing things that are like um, developing like a what's the word I'm looking for? Um, like putting something in a shape on your paper with masking tape, and then painting it, and then putting another one on, and doing layers in that way. I like doing layers. And I really loved doing the prints with the leaves. That was really fun. So I like doing things that are a little maybe unexpected on
Mhm.
art, and doing things in layers. I think that's my style right now.
I know I'm flashing through these really fast, but I'm showing a style, um,
Yes,
that, Lauren, is yours. I don't know. Did you take a class? Did you study with someone for this technique, or is this coming from within you?
that was still the Japanese lady who was teaching me, but she was really good because she taught by showing you a technique and then sent you off to make it your own. She wasn't looking for someone to follow exactly what she had done. She just showed you, oh, here's where you can divide up a page in any way you want and then paint it in sections and then do something else with it if you wanted. Like for this one, for example, I have the imprint of the leaf, but that wasn't what we were doing at the time. That was something that I took from a previous lesson and added it on with the swirling shapes, like the leaves and the stem
Yeah.
separately. So that's how I started to learn my style with her because she showed us so many different ways of doing things, so many different techniques.
Boy, I'm telling you, this is the what I've been sharing really, really to me represents a style for you because it's unique. It is
Mm.
unique. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing in art is there isn't one artist who is absolutely one of a kind, absolutely
Mhm.
unique, because we're all holding a brush, we're all dabbing into watercolors or acrylics or oils, we're all splashing it on a substrate, throwing ephemera down if we're a mixed media artist,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so there is no individual uniqueness about art, but you already said it. It's the heart of the artist. It's the
Mhm.
expression of the artist. And so
Mhm.
when we look at this style,
Mhm.
that I feel is very, very much your style.
I have to get back into doing these things because it's been a while since I've tried this technique and this style, but I should really get back into doing some of it because I remember it brought me a lot of joy to make these different paintings and
It seems when I look at it, I see the nuances in it, but you make it look effortless. You know, you make it look effortless. And I know by looking at it, this is layers of work. And
Mhm.
it all didn't happen in one sitting,
Yeah,
you
for
know.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
And there is a design element to it. You have a design element to it.
Yeah.
This one almost feels like either um, seasons or the same, like in a same 24-hour period, the different sky
Yeah.
of the landscape.
Yeah. Hmm.
There's so much here, Lauren. This is just beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Really just beautiful. Okay, I don't know if you guys hear my puppy snoring.
I didn't hear
Okay.
Gracie.
She sometimes has a snorty snore. Um, so I want to just take a moment because I was too into you to
Oh,
come to a moment of stopping, but I just wanted to take a moment to say hello out there to the viewers and hope that you are enjoying our art talk. We've got more coming for you today in this candid conversation with Lauren Small, a Canadian artist who
mm,
has many, many talents. And thank you for tuning in today to the April Art Talk.
mm,
All right, coming back just to you, Lauren.
mm.
Tell me, what's your dream with your art? What is like,
Read my
we're not
art.
on a camera. It's just
Mhm.
you and me sitting here. What is your true dream? What's your
Mm.
real dream with your art about and for your art?
Um, I'd really love to be able to create art um, every day. It's always hard to find time to do that, but I would like to do some kind of creative uh, painting, especially spending more time on my painting and creating things that I'm truly happy with.
Mm.
And making sure that I'm being authentic to myself. That's what I really want to be sure that I do. And if people like it, so be it. But I also want to have the attitude of, if they don't like it, so be it too. It
Mhm.
doesn't really matter because I've been happy with what I do.
Now, do you sell your art anywhere?
I don't know.
Mhm. Do you give your art away?
Sometimes, yes. I have a couple of friends who really like it, and so sometimes I'll offer them a choice of painting if they want to, from a selection.
Oh, they're
And
lucky.
yeah,
Very
I
lucky.
do that, yeah.
So, do you have a house filled with your paintings?
I have a lot of my artistic things in my house. Yes, I have paintings and I have embroidery and my quilting and different things and
So, in essence, you have created a Lauren Small Museum of Art, right?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, don't we? Don't we do that?
I think so.
Show me an artist whose walls aren't filled with their own
Yeah.
creations,
As they should be, you
as
know,
they should
as they
be.
should be. Yeah.
Mhm. I
Mhm.
think one of the joys of being an artist is to have your stuff up on the walls, right? And
Mhm.
to watch a person walk into your home and
Yeah.
you see their eyes darting all around, right? Sometimes they come right out and say, "Oh, did you paint that?" And it's like, yeah. Sometimes they just are, they don't say a word. But I am the type of individual where if someone walks in and, "Did you paint that?" "Yeah." "Oh my gosh, because I really love that." It comes off the wall and into their hands because they
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
They love that. Doesn't matter that they don't have a space for it in their own home, it's yours. You can take it. I mean, I have my ultra favorites that I would probably never give away or even sale, right? I always say that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
are you like that? I think you're like that.
Yeah, I have favorites.
Mhm.
My favorites that I would just are precious, and I
So
don't.
precious, yeah.
I want to keep them. Yeah, as
Oh,
my
art journaling. You mentioned art journaling, that
yeah
you have getting into art journaling.
yeah.
Tell us about your journey in art journaling.
Oh, geez. I'm still at the beginning of my journey, I think, and um, I think what I like to do is what I like a lot about the art journaling is all of the different layers, and I'm still exploring that. I find it challenging to do and make it look like something. I mean, it's easy enough to um, layer things, but to have it really look like something that's put together, shall we say, is the challenge. So um, I experiment with putting down usually watercolors and then add to that. But I've been trying something new with acrylics and not as successfully as the watercolors. So I'm still learning about that. But and then magazine images. I like finding pictures, especially of people that I can, maybe just their eyes or just their head or and superimpose that on something so that it looks like a woman has a crown on and things, just being playful with it like that. So right now I'm still playing.
So you and I met in a women's all women's artist community.
Yes,
We had fun in that community.
yes, we did.
Yeah, and we both left it at the same time because
Mhm,
we wanted to explore some things together, and we've been exploring it for oh, a little over a year, I think. And
mhm.
you also do smash booking.
Yes,
Tell us what the difference between smash booking and art journaling is.
for me it's smash booking is sort of embracing the imperfections and always having an intention when you're doing your art or you're making your page. Um, and just the idea of writing down your intention on the page before you start, and making it truly part of what your final image is. I think those are the big things that are a difference. But for me, it's mostly that imperfection, because I really have a hard time still painting on a crinkly page.
Everybody does.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so and I guess in the spirit of smash booking, things are not precious. You can play with things and just muck around with throwing paint on the page, and your intention will come out, you know. Um,
Yeah.
but
Make mud, it's okay.
it's okay. Yes, exactly. And you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for anybody else to necessarily even see.
Yeah, it's a true diary, isn't it? It's a true
Yeah,
artist diary from that
yeah,
perspective.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah,
artifact in that way.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, in art journaling, um, do you work with intention?
I do. I still work with intention. Like I come up and I come to the page and I say, this is something that I'd like to do today.
Mhm.
And so I'm working towards that goal, and that's that intention.
So, for an art journal spread, um, does it only take you one day to do it?
Oh no, it takes me a long time. And a lot of times I'll finish it. I'll say, I'm finished with this and I'll move on to another one. But then I go back to the first one and I say, oh, I'd like to add this element, or this is what's really missing on the page, and, add something in, and whether it's another image or some stamping or stenciling or just mark making on the page.
So,
Yeah,
you put a lot of time and energy into your art journaling because to you, is it a piece of art?
I think it can be, sure.
Mm.
I think it can.
So, does that mean that an art journal is a book filled with art?
Sometimes it's just filled with experiments. I look at my art journal as a way of practicing a technique or a strategy of how to do something, or just an idea. And sometimes it becomes something that's more involved and more artistic, if you like.
Yeah.
My heart is more on it. It's obvious that my heart is in it, and then that becomes more of a piece of art. But there aren't all pieces of art. I think a lot of them are just experiments with a certain technique.
Okay. So, I'm going to, maybe you're already doing this, but because you know my love is art journaling, uh,
Yes,
I'm going to invite you, if you haven't already started doing this,
yes.
begin to have different art journals. This is a practice art journal. This is a art journal. And
Okay.
to only work in practice when you're practicing and experimenting and exploring. And then you have those real ones. And then when you get that practice journal filled up, you
Yeah.
go back to it and you start doing art on top of those practice pages.
Okay. That makes sense.
Ooh, bring,
That's separate. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to bring in a whole nother element, but to always have, a practice and then an art journal.
Yes. Something that's more
Serious,
formalized, if you
more
like.
formal, because
Yeah.
I'm a believer that no matter what the substrate used, if you are creating art, it is art. And
Okay.
selling an art journal to a collector,
Hmm.
you can get more money selling that art journal than a piece of art,
Yeah.
because it becomes a real true collector's item.
Yeah.
They might not think that way, but I do. Lauren, please forgive me. Did you give me an Instagram account or anything like that to share?
No, I don't have one.
That's what I thought. I wanted to double check. You're very rare, and I applaud you for not diving into a social media account like that. Um, I think
Book. I have Facebook, but that's as far as I want to go because I don't want to spend my time doing that. I want
it's
to
a
spend
way.
my time doing my art.
I know artists who they're posted on that Instagram all day long, and it's like, for what?
Yeah.
I think I personally feel the days of social media are waning and
Um,
collapsing. And
yeah.
I'm happy that I mean, I'm on Instagram, but I'm happy that I have never bought into it as a sole exposure of
Right.
advertising for anything art. And plus it's a waste of energy. What are you, an artist, or are you a salesperson?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Art
be
has become
with,
so commercial, hasn't it? It's become so commercialized since COVID.
yeah. Well, I think people are looking for ways to increase their income. So
Yeah.
they look to maybe art or something like that. But for me, that's not that's that's not really what
Artist.
I'm I don't want to be that kind of artist that you work on commissions and you work to somebody else's heart and what they want. I'd rather be doing my own stuff and if people like it, that's fine. And if they don't, well, so what?
Yeah. Yeah. I have mixed emotions. And then one part of me goes, well, is it because you don't get out there and hustle and get your art sold everywhere, or but
Yeah.
I'm happy. I mean, as an art journal, I'm getting published in Art Journaling magazine quite a bit. And I love that. That to me, because I'm a writer, a published writer anyways, and that to me is a full expression. Um,
Yeah.
that's like the top of my success. It's like, yeah, no, I what I do is valid
And that's getting yourself out there too, but in a different kind of way.
in a different kind of way. It's a sharing way.
More authentic, I think.
Yeah. Well, thank you, because it feels to me more authentic. Yeah. So that's why I was asking you what your dream is for your art. Do you dream to have it out there in the community, seen and shared um, in a more direct way with others? Or are you happy to have it between you and your friends and your family, your personal chosen
Mm.
community?
I'm happy with what I do now with, friends and family and sharing my art with them, but it would be nice to be published sometime,
Yes.
you know? That
Yeah.
would that would be cool.
Well, here's to getting you published, Lauren.
Okay.
Right?
I know
So
with your enthusiasm, I'll work towards that.
yes, yes, absolutely. Because to me, it's all about, really, it's about being in community with each other and helping each other out. If we stopped and looked back to the days of when our community, there weren't 9 billion people on the planet, and
Mm.
4.5 billion of them were wannabe artists or trying to be artists or whatever. That's an exaggeration and rude of me to say, you know what I mean? But if we were living back in the days when our little villages had like 150 people in it or whatever, and there was only one artist and one writer and one whatever, one singer, one musician, within our little village. And we sought out others of a like mind, and we traveled to places like Paris to be in community with a
Right.
handful of other artists, right? If we were back in those days, or we applied that timeline to modern times, which is very non-existent today, I
Mhm.
think we would step back into community with other artists, not in a competitive way, or I mean, sure, there were backstabbers, but not in a competitive way, but in a excuse me, in a social way of just being with other artists and learning off of each other, sharing off of each other,
Inspired.
painting with each other like some of them did. just to
Yeah.
go out to the field and throw up their easels and spend the day painting, and then to step back and look at each other's work and go, wow, how'd you do that? How'd you capture that sunlight, Van Gogh? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we don't have that today. I mean, I guess we do to a certain degree because of our Zoom.
Yeah. But it's not the same.
It is not the
It's
same.
not as personal, I don't find.
Yeah.
You know, it's different if you know, like you showed a few of my pieces that I've done, but how different would it be if you came to my house and I had a whole variety of things out that you could feast your eyes on, you know, and say that when that's a totally different experience.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's like going to a gallery and standing there, standing in front of the real paintings.
Yes.
It's a different feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, you get a sense of you more of a sense of the size and the shape of the frame and everything. It makes it all adds to the experience, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, because we're looking at 3D art
That's
when we're with it. Here it's flat.
yeah, yeah, two-dimensional.
It really is just two-dimensional.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's a big difference. You know, we're lucky we have Zoom. I'm lucky because I would have never met you maybe
Exactly.
without Zoom. And I'm going to take this opportunity because we're winding up now. We've been going and we're down to the last 5 minutes of
Oh
this
my.
art talk. But I
Yes.
want to take this opportunity to really extend my gratitude to you, Lauren, for doing this year-long journey with me together. We did it together. We
Yeah.
both worked equally hard on this. It wasn't even hard work, but I mean, there were ups and downs with it and deadline challenges and more than I think we realized.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
But
well, I thank you for inviting me into this experience, because it's really been fun working with you, and every day that we work together is it's a new exciting adventure, you know.
yeah, well, we've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we sure have. We sure
Had a
have.
lot of fun. And like I mentioned at the top of uh, this episode, there is a new project coming out. It won't come out until August, and we're not sure if it will involve Twitch or not. We have to see. But yeah, so I don't think it will, but that's something Lauren and I will discuss because we are becoming cohorts
Yes.
in this
Me too.
upcoming project.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's going to be our 2024 kickoff project because it's going to go into 2025. It's a mind blow.
Yeah, that'll be great fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. So again, just remember there's only one more art talk, and it is next week. Next month, with a wonderful friend of mine. Her name is Deborah, and we'll have her information up on the website this coming next week. And you can begin to plan for her. And that will be our ending. And we do have a little special ending that we'll be doing on that art talk. So put it on your calendar. What is that date? Let's see. That date is, I gotta find it here.
June
May,
6th?
is it the 6th?
I'm not sure.
No, it's May. It's
Oh,
May,
it's May. I was thinking June,
May
sorry.
2nd. May 2nd. Put it on your calendar right now. So in closing, Lauren,
Yeah,
in closing,
in closing.
what is your artist statement?
My artist statement, that's a good question. What would I say for my artist statement? I think it would have to do with being true to yourself and following your path authentically in an authentic way, and being playful and just playing with materials, playing with technique, and just follow your heart and put your heart on the page, and you will have good success. I think that's what I really follow.
That's beautiful. And with that, our April session of Art Talk comes to a close. Thank you so much, Lauren, for agreeing to be this special guest.
Well, it was my pleasure.
And thank you, viewers, for tuning in. We'll see you all next month for our last episode of Art Talk. And here comes Lauren giving her specialty hand.
Oh, my heart.
Yes, woohoo! Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.